fra Diavolo, my favorite go-to dish. It's going to rain tonight. I could switch to the heavy red wine that I started drinking the other night, but I'm not in the mood. I'm going to make a seafood fra Diavolo. I have frozen shrimp from the Gulf, no sulfites. I have some prawns, no sulfites. I'm going to mix them together with some vegetables. I'll put in a little eggplant tonight because I happen to like eggplant. And of course, I have a little bit left over of the parsley. Not much, perhaps enough to make a little bit out of this from some of the leaves, just enough. Lots of garlic, tons of garlic with everything. Lemon from my tree, still bearing here in the winter. And some fresh oregano dried that I bought the other day. I found some store-bought dried oregano. I use oregano and everything. But we're also going to talk about wine tonight a little bit, okay? A little bit about the difference between Sauvignon Blanc, Fumé Blanc. Everyone wants to know what's the difference between Pinot Grigio, Sauvignon Blanc. What's the difference? I'll talk a little bit about white wines tonight. And I'm going to make a decision, a very important decision tonight, not about politics, but whether to drink my Puy Fumé, a French white, or a Sancerre, another French white, which is a pure Sauvignon Blanc. I think I already made up my mind. And I'm going to make it a little spicier tonight using the Calabrian pepper sauce that I've come to like, but less of it. I'm going to use less of it. I want to give it a little bit of a punch on a cold night. And I'm going to use a lot of garlic, which I love. My whole life I've loved garlic. And I'm going to use, this is the equivalent of fresh. I have the fresh oregano, the fresh garlic as well. Again, I only use organic products if I could find them. I don't want the chemicals. I don't need them. I could do without them in my body. They're toxic. So either I'm going to use a little bit of fresh, or I like to crush this stuff up with my hammer. I like the sound of the hammer. When I had my dog, he would run the other way. I'd warn him in advance. Or I could do the old method of take the old cleaver and just crush it and throw it in that way, whatever. But let's start with get some stuff going here. Get the pan hot. You know, most of us know how to cook for ourselves. And what we do is we'll put the oil in before the pan is hot. It's not going to go bad, but you have to make the pan hot even before you put the oil in it if you have the time. How's the sound? Everything good? So seafood fra Diavolo. It's shrimp and scallops tonight with some spaghetti, and I have some beautiful organic mini sweet peppers that I like to put into these dishes. It adds a sweetness. I've had them for a few days. Beautiful vegetable. Here's like a freak show one. Look at this. This looks like a Democrat voter to me. Look at this one. It's mad. It's angry. It's curled up. It looks like this is a normal looking one. Here's another normal looking one. And this one looks like Jeffrey Epstein's apparatus, according to what I read today. How did they know these things? That he had a 2-inch schlong? Oh my God, no wonder he was a sex maniac. It adds up when you think about it. Anyone who's that obsessed with what he was doing, but what I read, and it turns, I don't know how they found out that he has a 2-inch Schmendrick. I don't get it. Where did they get this information from? But it explains why he was obsessed with the rub, the rub thing. I don't understand this. He never had, you read the stories, you try not to read them. You're trying to read about war and peace. And look, it's run by people who know how to get your eyes on everything. So you read about the other stuff. Now, the only other question I have for tonight is the Sancerre or the Sauvignon Blanc. I mean, I'm going to do the Sancerre, not the Puy Fumé. It's a good wine. I've recommended it before. Watch out by Total Wine. I have mixed feelings about, by the way. Often when they say winery direct, I found out they're steering you into a high profit margin item. It's not that good. I'm not nothing against the store. I like the store, but you better go in knowing what you're going to buy in advance by reading online before you go in. I'm going to go with the straight out brochard Sancerre. It's going to be a drier white. I just know it. And I need a drink right now. It's been a long day's journey in tonight for me, for whatever the reason. So the pan is hot enough now. Lower the heat a little bit. I don't want to burn the oil the minute I put it in. And I'm an oil person. I don't measure. I make it warm, take it away from the heat, live a lot longer, get my oil hot. But I'm really going to pour myself a glass of wine. Then we'll talk about Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Grigio, and the areas of comparison. I don't like Pinot Grigio at all for a couple of reasons. They're very unreliable wines, I've found. You can't count on them. You don't know what you're going to get with a Pinot Grigio. And I'm not putting down the country of Italy. I'm just saying I don't like Pinot Grigio because you don't know what it's going to taste like. I think it varies all over the map. I tend to like very dry wines to begin with, and I do like flinty wines. So to me, a dry Sancerre is the way to go tonight. My oil's getting ready. I want to have a glass of wine. The news has been so depressing today. Just everything is so depressing in the news. It's just hard to comprehend how this world can go on much longer. I did a great video this morning on the Muslim killing. Great in one sense, not a great story. On the slaughter of Christians in Nigeria by Muslims, completely ignored by the media. Thank God Fox News covered it this morning, but that double agent on CNN, I switched to him. Wolf Blitzer, I don't know how the man lives with himself. Wouldn't touch one story that's critical of what they're doing to Christians in Nigeria. Anyway, so yeah, and then this Epstein. I looked at this pepper. I said, there it is. Fate's talking to me. They want me to talk about Epstein Schmendrick. I'm not going to do it. I just did it. But let me do this. Let me get my wine in a glass as I continue to discuss the world's events with you. I'll even do a story on glycemic index of various foods tonight. I think it's an educational discussion that needs to be had. I like these goblets, by the way. I found all the wine glasses I have, this little 7-inch high glass. Everything is going to be in inches tonight because of that Epstein story. I'm sorry. Now everything is going to be in inches. Like how many inches of pasta do I have? How tall is the pasta? Is it a micro pasta like Jeffrey Epstein? I like to entertain myself too. Life is difficult. So I got to learn how to entertain myself with thoughts and ideas. So this is a brochade Sancerre, very highly rated. It was not recommended by a salesman. It's perfect. It's perfect. So I'll get the seafood if you don't mind. And if you do mind, I'll get it anyway. I could just do the shrimp and not bother with scallops. It's too complicated. I have already a half-open bag. I'm a preserver guy. Pink, deveined. They're frozen. You may not know you're eating a lot of frozen food in restaurants anyway. If you know how to cook frozen shrimp, you're in business because most restaurants use frozen shrimp. It doesn't taste worse than defrosted or even fresh. Believe me, it doesn't. These are Gulf shrimp, and I buy these in Safeway. You got to be very careful and read your labels very carefully because it says one thing, but you got to look only in one place here. Ingredients. Shrimp with the Latin binomial. Contains crustacean shellfish, nothing else. Now, most people will thaw it. I understand that. I'm going to go straight to the pan. It will splatter. I'll get my cover in a minute. I like the sound anyway. See, she's cooking already. That's the water coming off the shrimp. I don't know. I like the sound. It's going to splatter the kitchen, but that's part of the pleasure for me, splattering the whole kitchen. These covers can drive you sugar. I never get the right cover. No matter which cover I get, the wrong cover. I have to mark them, like for Seeing Eye Dog. Okay, there. The camera's not set up properly. I understand that. It's amateur hour. But what are you going to do? Now you could see it. I tried the camera horizontal. It didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work. So, okay, we're going to get the water boiling now because the pasta's got to go in now that this has been started. And I've splattered the stove. Ay, 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 what a world. Are you as depressed as I am about the world? It's not just an old man kvetching about the world. It's a very dark place right now. Wherever you look on the planet, Islam is killing someone in the name of peace. Mosques are going up like mushrooms in the rain. Governor Abbott, to his credit, has stopped it. You know, the Muslim Brotherhood, you know, the ones who just put a mayor in New York, you haven't seen nothing yet. What they did with the sword, the flame, they're doing now with public relations and stupid white liberal women. Yeah, to study history. I gave you such a lesson on it. Where'd I get 20,000 views? If I was some harlot exhibiting my body, you had 2 million views already. I'd be called an influencer. But because I only have 600,000 or 700,000 on social media, I don't exist, especially in the American media. But I'll take with what God gives me. People say you should have a wider audience for what you did this morning. I say, you know, God gave me what I have. I'll take what I have. It's that simple. God wants me to have 70 million, I'll have 70 million. He wants me to have 20,000, I'll have 20,000. He wants me to have 70,000, I'll have 70,000. God decides it all. Oh. So I'll put the poulet fumet back into its refrigerator, a refrigeration. I'm more or less what I need. I got to get the garlic in with it right away. And let's see, the water's boiling. I got to get my pasta in number 2. So the next question is, do I want the orchetti, little ears? I like them. They're fun. It's not for this dish. This dish is better with bucatini because the bucatini are the long, thin noodles. I'm going to use the bucatini because they're long, thin, and they're hollow. They suck the sauce up. They're beautiful. I love bucatini. Now, normally a person should eat about a quarter of a pound. The glycemic index on dried pasta made with this durum wheat is very low. It's not high at all. It's a low glycemic index, which is why I've survived all these years, and I'm a pasta lover. You know, I love that people don't eat pasta, don't eat carbohydrates. What are you people, stupid? Look at the Italian people, what they ate when they came to America. I want to talk about that in a minute, how wrong you are. No fancy sauces. No, they didn't even have basil leaves. They had to pick weeds out of the gutter, but they lived on pasta day and night. Strong as iron. Strong as iron. They didn't read your book on the carnivore diet. Eat like a moron, like a cannibal. They were strong as horses, those people, on this, the staple of the universe. Oh, on different wheat. I'm schmendrick, different wheat today than it was then. Yeah, I read all the fucking books. Morons. Everything they write is a hoax. Everything they write is a hoax. Lucky enough, I feel strong enough about what I'm telling you with my educational background and with my own fact that with my heart condition, the fact that I came from a family that never lived past 55 and I made it to 83, thank God, with one incident. I feel with the books and my own survival at this point, I've earned the right to tell you what I know about food and cooking. Take it for what it is. I don't need to consult anybody on it. I've consulted my whole life. So let's see how my these guys are doing. See, the water came out of the frozen stuff, which is only going to evaporate anyway when I get the heat up. I'm not putting the heat up yet. I'm just defrosting in the water. And the water will melt off. But meanwhile, I'm having a sauce made. I do not use butter. I do not use dairy. I don't like the taste, number one, and I've weaned myself off dairy, butter in particular, for 50 years. I can do without it. I don't need it. You want to eat high fat diets? Get back to me when you're 60, 70, 80. Then give me a story on it, on how good it is for you. So I'm going to put everything in right now, all of this, the red stuff. I love this stuff. I like the sound of cutting. Now, if I had a professional camera, you'd see the knife on the cutting. Looks nice. It adds a little color to the food. I throw the seeds in. It all doesn't bother me in the least. I could care less. I don't. You know what it is? I don't have the patience. I don't have the patience to remove the seeds. I don't care. They don't make it too bitter. By the time I get through with it with the sauce, you won't taste anything like a bitter taste at all. Besides, the seeds have nourishment in them. And for the garlic, it's simple. I got this in the thing, right? So I make it easy. I found a new method. I put this or a napkin over it, and I crush them in the package, and it doesn't fly all over the counter. I don't even take them out of the package. I do this first, crushing the garlic to release the sulfhydryl groups. See, and I'm just going to put it right in the way it is. You have to crush the garlic to release the sulfhydryl groups, which are the healthful components, one of the main healthful components of garlic. And now you could just put them right into your dish as it is, which I will do. And I will put the rest in a second. I love garlic. I don't know about you. In a second, I'm going to turn the heat up and get it really going. Right now, I'm still kind of melting things together. And then I'm going to use a bottled sauce on top of it. I can make my own sauce. I used to do it when the kids were young. I'd make my own sauces. It's unnecessary today. They have such good bottled sauces. A lot of people still love the Rayows. I don't blame them. I like Rayows. I still use it even though Carnation bought it. I'm not sure it's the best. There's a lot of other ones out there today. Maybe you have your own favorite. Okay? But there's lone spaghetti out here like, God, look at it. It looks just, what does that look like, that noodle? Again, poor thing. It looks like Epstein Schmendrick was about the right length of uncooked pasta hanging over the side. All right, we'll keep it going. This is starting to look like it's starting to cook. I'll go back to the wine story in a minute. Normally I give it like a clever little title like, seafood, Fra Diablo over a shrunken nation or a shriveled nation. I don't even have the desire to do it. I can tell you about some TV if you want. I wrote a great review the other day. I'm going to read it to you. So good. A new Netflix drama. What dreck? Oh my God, was it bad? And then I found something on Netflix that I loved. Remember how I was raving about My Brilliant Friend? The single best piece ever done in television's history is My Brilliant Friend. Sorry, My Brilliant Friend. And Elena Ferrante is the greatest writer in the English language, bar none. Nobody even knows who she is. She's never been seen in Italy. Best-selling novelist in Italy in that time. And no one ever met her. They think it may be a man, by the way. There's rumors. Elena Ferrante. If you're a person who's oriented towards literature and writing, get the books. My Brilliant Friend, the triumvirate, the trilogy, sorry. And you won't be disappointed. So I do not cook with salt because I don't need the high blood pressure. I don't care what anyone has told you. I don't care if it's Schmendrick salt. I don't care if it's Himalayan salt. I don't care if it's Uncle Mike's salt. It's sodium, sodium, sodium. Every study on Earth that's been studied by legitimate scientists before all the hype artists began, they know that sodium raises blood pressure, potassium lowers blood pressure. End of story. Chemistry is chemistry is chemistry. But no, go tell it to the people who listen to some morons who will tell you a revisionist history about everything on Earth. Is this the one? I'm not even going to cook with it. It's such a freaky thing. I believe in the doctrine of signatures. I'm afraid if I put this in, something I know in my body will shrivel, and I don't mean my appendix. So now I'm going to put in for the Diavolo, first the little spices. There we go. It's looking nice. I got this the other day. I went and bought, everything is like takes time. I went to buy dried oregano. Okay, fine. You don't know what's in the bottle. Most of it's crap. And you get it home, you smell it, there's no scent. So it's garbage. Most of the people in the spice business are giving you horse shit. Lucky I picked a brand that works. It has some scent to it. It's not like my fresh oregano. It's out of season anyway, but okay, whatever. I've always loved oregano since I'm a child. I used to make homemade pizzas. And I have a little bit of this left. I use a lot of what's left over in my cooking. I have just a bit of the cilantro, not enough really to make a difference. Cilantro, cilantro, you say cilantro, I say cilantro. It's all stems now. I'm not going to bother. It'll be this. I will not use the stems. They will be bitter. I don't want to cook with them. The parsley, I have enough leaf to use to make it a little flavorful, colorful, whatever. Pastas, it's almost done. The whole thing's almost done. I just want to get ahead of myself on all of this stuff. So I have a thing with the cooking water. First it's boiling too fast, then it stops boiling at all. So I usually put that on halfway to keep the heat in there. That's all. Big deal. A real genius to do that. So now I did not use scallops tonight. I didn't want to break open a new package. I used a lot of shrimp. It's enough. With the eggplant, it's actually looking beautiful. It smells good from the garlic. The garlic's making it beautiful. Oh, what news with Trump. Oh my God, I'm starting to feel bad for him. He's the only thing we got, and I'm starting to feel bad for him. What's with the king of Saudi Arabia? You know, the king arrives in Saudi Arabia. I know they're doing big business deals, and it's admirable to build $100 billion. They're building a city in Saudi Arabia with Trump, which is beautiful. I don't know what's going to do for us over here, but I'm glad he's having a good time. How does that help American jobs to build a city in Saudi Arabia? I'm trying to figure that out. I mean, if he was going to build a $100 billion city in Oklahoma, that would be one thing. Okay, but hey, you got to keep the princes happy. So the prince arrives wearing beautiful Arabic robes. God knows how many slaves made that robe, how many stitches it took. And this was weird, man. I'm not knocking Trump. I'm 100% behind him. 100%. There's a picture of him with a wrinkled suit. Like it looked like it came out of like a suitcase. He looked like defeated and exhausted. And then the other day he calls her a piggy. He says to a reporter, "Shut up, piggy." Now you may think that's funny. I don't. I thought it was bad. And I have told you this. I'll say it again. I'm 100% behind Donald Trump. He's all we got right now. We'll have hell after he leaves. But listen to this. He tells a reporter who asks him a question he doesn't like, "Shut up, piggy." Not good. No, sorry, bad. Very bad. Someone's got to say, "Mr. President, please listen to me. We love you. You can't give any more impromptu press conferences after a trip to the Middle East on an airplane in the middle of the night with the press. They're waiting to catch you off base and catch you." They did. She tripped him up with an angry question, and he went off. He just said, "Piggy." Not good. Very bad. Not presidential. Not happy. Sauvignon Blanc, Sancerre. All Sauvignon Blanc grapes from the best part of the Loire Valley. Mike ponders his wine, and he puts in a bit of the leftover Rayaus marinara to start flavoring the dish without completing the amount of marinara he's going to use. And Mike gets his Mezzetta Calabria pepper sauce, which he said he wouldn't eat much more of, but it's irresistible. I'm just going to use a little bit because I said it's Fra Diavolo, right? So I would say a teaspoon is plenty. Bingo. That's all. You overdo it, you're going to itch all night, and it's not good for your health. A little bit is good. I just need it tonight. So we got it in there, the Fra Diavolo part of it. I could use the red pepper flakes, which I've used for years. Again, I've told you the carcinogenicity of hot peppers. I told you that the other day. I understand. I remember what I was talking about. You study the societies that use piper nigrum or piper, the capsaicin, and they have high cancer rates. Now, whether it's causal, we don't know, but there is definitely an association between societies that eat hot sauces and cancer. So, we got to balance everything out. And with me, you're cooking with a PhD nutritionist who's written books on the subject. I respect chefs totally. I learn a lot from them. And I like to add some nutritional knowledge to the cooking world with my little cooking shows, which I'm trying to do tonight, throwing it in there. So now, since everything's cooking, again, the punchline, except for the Epstein pepper with the 1 inch. What a suffering he must have had, that guy. He's like a smart kid in New York with a small. He went crazy. I don't understand it. Never married, no children. Obsessed, obsessed. Look at that. See, I forgot what I was talking about. I left my other shrimp out. They should have been refrozen right away. They didn't melt. Okay, whatever. Now, is there anything else in this refrigerator that I could throw in right now that'll make it better? No. No, I'm almost done. My food's almost done. Okay, good. Very good. But I am going to do something sacrilegious, which the purists amongst you will ridicule me for. That's fine. You can do whatever you like. It's open society. You can ridicule any of those of us who put themselves out there like this. You can say anything you want about us. It's your business. I like 1 cube sometimes in a wine. It takes it to another level of taste. It reduces any off flavors that I don't like. That one ice cube. Ooh. Now, I have this lemon, which I was going to use. I'm not going to use it at this point. It's too late. It'll change the flavor in the wrong way. So as the pasta is almost done, we can talk a little bit more about wine and about politics and about the direction of the nation, what's going to happen in the midterms. I'll predict right now. I can see it from a mile away. Everyone sees it. I've been telling you since the last election. The country's moving towards socialism. It's not just in these cities. There's a reason. There's a lot of reasons it's happening. The excess, the exaggerated differentials between people. I mean, there's always been rich and poor. My mother always said to me, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. There's nothing new about that. We all knew it. But everybody wants the government to step in and help them. They figured they can't do it on their own. Let the government give them something. We know where that leads. We know where that leads. Look to Venezuela, you'll see where that leads. But they don't know this. They're stupid. They're stupid. When their head goes into the guillotine, they'll find out what it means. And then it'll be too late. I try not to internalize these problems because I want to keep my health for as long as I can. But in my case, in my age, there's more sand down here than there is up there. In the old sand glass. There's more sand down here than up there if you get the picture. There's only so much I could do that I want to do. It's actually looking very good. I'm going to show it to you. Look. Tell me you don't want to eat that. Come on. Are you kidding? Of course you do. Because I do. So I'm going to put the pasta right in there, then add more sauce to make it richer. And then I'm going to have dinner. I'm going to watch TV tonight. I'm watching a show that I love, absolutely love. I'll get the title for you in a minute, then I'll read you the review I did of the bad one on HBO with that girl with the quivering thing who was in Homeland. Horrible, just horrible. See the pasta? Now look, most people would say this is ready. It's al dente. I don't like al dente. And I know that al dente has a lower glycemic index than al softy. I don't like the taste. I like soft spaghetti. And you say, well, how did the Italians eat it? I don't know. I'm not Italian. I saw a show the other day, the actual dishes that immigrant Italians ate in America at the turn of the last century. It was almost all pasta and vegetables, almost never meat, because they couldn't afford it. They didn't have it. No dairy, no Parmigiano, They didn't have basil sauces. They had no sauce. They made it out of tomatoes and a little of the vegetables they picked out of a garden. Mm. Okay, we're going to need another go around here in a minute. You have to bear with me as I get. I was looking for olive oil. Now, here's another thing I wanted to talk about: olive oil. I don't know what your flavor taste are. I lived in Spain for a while in the '60s, and I came to love Spanish olive oil. I love Arbequina olives, and you can find them in America. They're grown in California, for example, but you have to look very carefully for Arbequina olives. So I found a brand. It's called Spectrum Culinary Organic Extra Virgin Olive Oil, but it says it tells you the olive source, which I always look for. Forget all the other stuff. I want to know the olive that they're using. This was an Arbequina olive. That's why I picked it. Organic Arbequina olives, bingo. Grown in the fourth generation. My friend Lorenzo built a vineyard up in Napa, Sonoma rather, that I saw when he was putting it together. Poor guy. You watch a person die of cancer. You don't know what a curse is. To see a friend, well, the friend who died from cancer had the curse, not me. It's beautiful. What olive oil this is. I'm going to drizzle a little bit more on there, only because I love it. I need it. I need to put more sauce in there before I put the pasta in there. And a little bit of the pasta water. The Italian style is the pasta water with it. It thickens the sauce. I don't really need it. See, now it's almost soft enough. It's almost a sauté enough for my gullet. That's all. I know what I like. You like al dente? Have al dente? I didn't say you shouldn't have it. I don't like al dente. I like al dente. I like it bent. Again, with the constant reference. I'm not going to go back to that. It's vulgar already. It's al dente, like you know who's Schmendrick. Okay, I did it. Couldn't get it up, so he went with the girls. Obsession. It's usually that way. Usually the obsessive compulsive guys are on the impotent side. Perfect now. Oh my God, is this good? I swear to God. I'm not just saying it. It's a cooking show. Look at this. Look at that. See how it's all melting down together? Look. Come on. Everything's soft and together. There's no bitterness in it either. I told you the seeds from that little red bell peppers wouldn't make it bitter. It didn't. I like a little bite, bite anyway. One. How much do I want tonight? With my bucatini. I'll eat it for lunch if I make too much. That's enough for tonight. A double. Now, I got to drain that out. I don't want to waste my pasta. I don't let it sit. You know, I got to just drain it. I'll be right back. Okay, give me a second. Bingo. Now I have pasta for breakfast if I want. Beautiful. I love it. It's like in reserve. It's like the Savage Reserve Bank of pasta. Now, how much sauce do I want is the only question that remains. Do I want it mild Italian red, or do I want it soaked in sauce? I tend to go for the mild. If you go to Italy, you don't find the food drenched in sauce. You'll find it sort of colored and flavored with a red sauce, if that's what you ever ordered. Like this. I'll show it to you in a minute. I'm going to leave it like this. It's actually enough. Sauce, that is. I don't need to open another bottle, not because I'm cheap. I don't need it. It'll overpower it. You lose all the flavor, right? You notice that the eggplant cooked down too. Look at this. My eggplant is broken. I don't wash it and take the skin off. I don't soak it and remove it. Nothing. I cook the eggplant as it is. There's nutrients in the eggplant skin that I want. You know, I could call this the Savage Peasant Cooking Channel. It doesn't bother me. I'm not into sophisticated cooking. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to pretend, you know. I see some chefs who know what the hell they're doing. I see a lot of don't. Everything is butter, cream, dairy, salt, and pepper. Okay, great. What are you actually eating? They don't know, but it tastes good because it's full of cream, butter, salt, and dairy. And most Americans have never eaten food. They're eating cream, butter, salt, and dairy. Like Julia Child. A guy I used to like years ago. I can't watch him anymore. That Jacques Pepin. Everything a pound of butter. What's the miracle of cooking if you throw a stick of butter into it? Where's the flavor? I mean, he knows what he's doing. All right. I don't eat that crap. He's lived long too. I think he's about 80, something or other. And second, I don't like the French accent either with everything. There's something. I used to like him. I don't like him anymore. Go back to one more little drizzle of Sancerre in here. I'm not going to put it in my food. It'll only ruin it right now. Why do they pour wine? You ever see them put wine in to reduce it into a dish? I understand it. It generally ruins the food. You're supposed to cook the alcohol off. Generally, it slows the cooking down. It changes the temperature and the cooking stops. I like to fry my food after it's cooked, like I'm doing. I told you I had a friend years ago who taught me years ago the style of Burmese and Chinese cookery. He's a brilliant man. He was a parasitologist who wrote many hundreds of scientific papers on malaria. Bob Desowitz, great guy, good friend of mine in the 60s, 70s. And he taught me the art of cooking to dryness. It's not something that Americans like. They like very wet food. You know, no one's ever talked about wet and dry foods. It's very interesting to me. There's a way to cook to dryness where the food has a different taste entirely, and that's a form of Asian cookery that's lost. And the reason is because it takes a lot of time. It's not bad because it's dry. It has a different taste. Cooking to dryness. I don't cook it all the way to dryness. I like to cook it so it's a little less, let's say, moist. And that's why my food is not appealing to most Americans. They don't understand it. So this would be what the shrimp looks like from frozen. I will tell you if I didn't like it. It's good. Great? No. No, it is not. I'm going to tell you something else. It's okay. Not great. See, I don't like the way it tastes right now at all. I don't like the way it came out. Now, I would lie to you and say, oh, it's great, wonderful, bon appetit, and goodbye. But I don't like the taste. I'm gonna change the dish to my liking, since it's my house. You know, it's going to rain tonight. It's supposed to rain now for 24 hours, which I love. There's something missing. I don't know what it is. I'll figure it out. What's not missing is my love for life, my respect for God, family, country, honor. Coming into the holidays already, Thanksgiving brings up so many family problems for every one of you. Many of you are looking forward to Thanksgiving. Some of you aren't. You have no families, or you're estranged from your family. I was reading today Richard Dreyfuss, the actor. I never liked him, but all right. Kids don't talk to him. It's all over money. I never had a money problem in my family. I'm going to give you a trick. You want to hear my trick? With children and money? Never make anything between you and your children about money. Even when we were poor, I never made it about money. Money was always out there. You need to take it. You don't have to go in my wallet. Just take it. Never make it about money. Never. Never. And it'll never come back to haunt you. You make it about money, it's going to haunt you the rest of your life. Not bad, not good, not great. I know exactly what I'm going to do. You're not going to believe this, Mike. I know just what I'm going to do. I know just how to finish this dish right. Bingo. I want the little can, though. I just figured it out. Okay. Do I have what I want? I bought 4 of them. I bought these little tomato sauces, not the canned, already made sauce, but like for the homemade sauce thing. I bought the little cans, and I don't know where the hell they went. Oh, never make it about money. Saffron, schmaffron. I haven't been using much saffron lately. I think I'm going to add a little saffron tonight just for the sedative effect. Remember I had the guy on? Look at that. I don't have it. I know where they are. Would you bear with me 1 minute? I'm going to go and get the sauce in the back. I got little cans of sauce I want to use, not the big can. Bear with me. I'll be right back, I swear. There they are. Perfect. Just perfect. Okay. So I'm back. See, if you want to punch up a dish like this where it's a little, it's not that it's dry, it's not flavorful enough for me. What I'm going to do is add Del Monte tomato sauce, no salt added. It'll flavor it. It'll bring it up in many ways. I don't really want a whole can of Rayos. It's not that I'm cheap. I don't want it. Because then I'm eating Rayos sauce or Mazzetta sauce. I don't want it. I want to eat my food, but I need a little more flavor. So I'm willing to admit that it needs more tomato. There we go. Now I hear it's better. And I have a lot of this. I'm going to use it, this organic stuff that I bought. Incredible. I didn't know I had it. I forgot about it. I was into the whole thing. A little saffron. Remember I interviewed the doctor, the psychiatrist? He was talking about tranquilizers, and he said saffron's one of the greatest. The hell with it. What the hell do I care? He said saffron's one of the greatest tranquilizers there is. All right. I've always loved saffron, so I'll put it at the end. I didn't think about it, so I put in the sauce. Basically, it's going to melt into the sauce now. I'm going to have a dish that's totally different than what I was making. The tomato sauce, the saffron, it's looking better too. Oh, Savage contradicted himself about dryness. Maybe, maybe not. I go with the flavor. Sometimes I like very dry, sometimes I don't. Tonight, although it was dry, it was not flavorful. There's a way in the past I made it dry and flavorful. I did not make it that way tonight. It did not work out. So a chef keeps adjusting a dish according to what's actually happening in that living thing in his frying pan or in his oven. You can't do this in a restaurant. It's too expensive, too costly, and too time consuming. So I got, family coming out. My son's coming out for Thanksgiving. I'm not going to Florida this year. Remember last year I was in Florida? I cooked a turkey down on the beach. This year we're going to a restaurant with some friends. Be nice, really nice. That's all. Life moves on. But Thanksgiving's stressful because some of the family's there, some of the family's here, this and that. Brings up family drama. Sometimes you don't have a family, like a lot of you are lonely. I don't blame you. You're alone. You're going to wind up like in that movie with a TV tray and a frozen dinner. That's most of life is like that. You start a family, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. It's a crapshoot. All of it is. Next time you wake up 3 in the morning, you hear something falling in the house. You got to understand it's all a crapshoot. Spaghetti's perfect. Sauce is good. Not perfect, though. if I had more time, I'd cook more. I change the sauce. I keep adjusting it. It's good, not great. I'm just a chef. Will tell you how I'm a guy cooking at home, talking with you, I'm rapping with you. I'm not happy with the dish the way it turned out thus far. I could change it one more time, one more turn. I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to put any more Calabrian hot sauce because I can taste it. It's missing a little more plain old tomato sauce, believe it or not. I'm going for it. It's that simple. It's my dish. I want to cook it the way I want. So when you're cooking at home, keep tasting your food the whole night that you're cooking. Remember, cooking is a form of therapy. And cooking is, I mean, if you got a family, you got to cook quickly. I get it. Feed the kids, feed the husband, feed the wife. But if you're cooking for yourself, as I do most of the time, you can cook and cook and cook till you get it exactly the way you want it, right? And then you don't even have to eat it. That's the beauty of it. I thought of going to a restaurant tonight. I wanted the seafood from Diavolo. I saw a few places, one in Santa Fe, one in Sausalito. Maybe I'll go tomorrow night. I can't eat in a restaurant every night. There's too much pomp and circumstance. I mean, they know me, they like me, they treat me very well. I love both restaurants; they're good, and the food's very good. Just takes work to go to a restaurant. I don't want to. I don't want to work tonight. I'll tell you what I'm watching, then I'm going to say goodbye. So I told you, Elena Ferrante is my favorite author, and she wrote My Brilliant Friend. You can find it now on HBO. Pretty good. It's actually excellent. It's perfect. I swear to God, that little tomato sauce in a can added so much to this dish. It's a good one. I buy these and keep them in reserve if the sauce doesn't work out. Sauce, no salt added. You don't need salt with everything. In other words, you don't need salt for flavor. I did a review the other night. Go to my X channel. I don't want to bother. It's so funny. I read it to my friends. They loved it. Most of what I do is for my friends who are far and few between. I produce my videos for my friends like you. I cook for my friends like you. I do my reviews. So people said your review of that movie, of that TV show was so scathing. You're the new Roger Ebert. I said, no, God forbid, don't curse me like that. It's a nice, sincere, great, no, not a great wine, a very good wine, not a great wine. I've had great wines. I've had really expensive red wines. I know the difference. But basically, I believe in, simple things. The heat's off on everything. I'm letting it just cool down. I'm letting it absorb everything. I'll make the last joke. So who does this remind you of? Everybody in a chorus. Epstein Schmendrag. What a story. Shaped like a lemon, thick on the end and thin on the eye. What is this guy? He was a sicko. The guy was apparently a genetic anomaly with a small male appendage, and he became obsessed with a rub joint. I don't understand it. I don't understand it, what it does to a person that was small spaghetti, a small noodle, what it does to a man. That's all men think about anyway, ladies. You know that. Men are like children. That's all, that's all they think about day and night, no matter what they say. That's all they're thinking about. Women, though, that's why I love women. I love women's sensibilities. They're so smart. That's why I like Elena Ferrante. I don't know whether it's a woman who wrote it or a man, but they understand the male mind so well from the Italian perspective. It's all about sex. It's all about masculinity or the supposed masculinity. Oh, so here I'm ending with this. I got to find it exactly, though. I think it's the lies that adults say. So I told you I'm watching My Brilliant Friend, and I can't get enough of her. And I've watched the series several times. So I read the back of the book, and on the flap copy, it says she's the author of The Lies that Adults Tell. I never heard of this. It was her last book, also made into a movie in Italy, a series. It's about a teenage girl. I'll get the exact title before I go. It's a 14-year-old girl in Italy, skinny. She sort of looks like a boy. Little, you think it's gonna be a little dykey, it isn't. And she's like a skinny kid in an upper middle class family. The father's a professor. They live in a beautiful apartment in Rome or wherever the hell, I don't know where they live. And she's not happy. She's a kid. So the father, who she overhears the father talking to the mother, saying, "Our daughter is starting to look like my sister, who he hates." The sister was the so-called loser who lives in a poor district in a slum where he grew up, and she's still living in the same apartment that he lived in as a kid. And he hates his sister. She hates him. The daughter says, "Do I look like my aunt? Oh, I never met." Long and short, she goes to look up the aunt in this poor neighborhood in the slum. So it's about the dynamics between the poor neighborhood in Italy, in Naples at the time, and the upper middle class, and who's on top, who's the more authentic person. The way it's written, you know, and how the young girl identifies with the aunt, starts to really love her, dig her, into her. The aunt's a real asshole, is hostile, puts everyone down, cursing, smoking, driving on the wrong side of the road type of aunt, the type you'd find in Marin County. You know, the Obama voter. The whole thing is interesting how it works out. And the backdrop to the whole thing is communism. You got to remember, in Italy, there's a very powerful communist society, as is the underbelly of Italy. Behind, it's always been a battle in modern times between the communists and the nationalists. And it's just what's going on in America right now. We're fighting for the survival of America. It's a fight between the communists, Bernie Sanders, occasional Cortex, Mamdani, the communist Islamist, a double curse upon America, and the nationalists, allegedly, like Donald Trump. I say allegedly. I'm not 100% sure. Sorry, I have to say it. Have to say it. To me, America first means America first. Okay, not Donald first. Sorry, had to say it. If he doesn't get this movement back on track to jobs, 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 no outsourcing to Indians or India, we're finished in the midterms. It's communism all the way, and that's the end of it. Then we'll really have a fight in our hands.